Have you noticed how some people habitually and regularly surrender their frame, surrender their stack, and signal to the world that they haven't got what it takes? They lack capability, or they haven't developed the tools they require and need to enforce their capabilities. People who tell you that they were going to do something. They're always telling you about what they were going to do, as if they have a magic time machine whereby they can go back in time, not do something, then come back into the present and tell you about the things that they were going to do but didn't do. This is a total surrender of stack and frame. If you find yourself repeatedly telling people about all the things you were going to do, it's time for you to take stock and start drawing some lines under your projects, surrendering, getting rid of, burning, discarding, binning the stuff that's holding you back, and focusing on the things that you need to get done, rather than focusing on the things you were going to do. Next, beware of people who tell you that's just the way it is, or that's just the way I am. People who use phrases like that's just the way are essentially surrendering their frame. They're basically rolling over and playing dead while the world juggernauts over the top of them. People who tell you that's just how I am have surrendered their agency. They're not keen on changing, they're not keen on improving things, they're certainly not keen on fixing things, because they've basically rolled over, played dead, and accepted when, instead of just relying on other people and that's the way of the world, instead of relying on that as an excuse, they should be pulling themselves up and fixing things, getting their autonomy back, getting their frame back, and getting their stack back. Some people will also tell you they have nothing to prove, as if anybody really cares. What are these things that they have nothing to prove about? Do you understand where I'm coming from here? People who tell you they have nothing to prove are essentially saying, I've got nothing to do, and I don't intend to do any of those things. I have nothing to do. So beware of people who tell you they have nothing to prove, because what they're signaling is that they have surrendered themselves to that particular situation. I've got nothing to prove. Guilty. I've used the phrase myself, when in fact I've been actually fleeing from a responsibility or a decision that I should have made. So beware of the phrase, I have nothing to prove. Next, be careful when you encounter somebody who is always seeking validation. When a person is always seeking validation, what they're saying is that they don't regard themselves highly enough, and they must outsource their feel-goods to other people. The problem with this is that the validation junkie is never going to be satiated. So no matter how much validation they get, even on a good day, they're going to come back for more the next day. Providing validation to people who are constantly seeking it is like trying to pay off a blackmailer, an emotional blackmailer, in fact. So beware of people who are constantly seeking validation. Beware of yourself if you find yourself trapped in a situation where one person becomes the lightning rod for the validation that you're seeking. Now you're wandering into simp territory. Don't do it. Stop seeking validation from other people, and if there is somebody that you are constantly seeking validation from, I suggest you evaluate that, assess it, and I suggest you draw a line under it. Next, the way that people surrender their frame is by bitching, whining, complaining, usually to people who have nothing to do with the situation and who can do nothing about the situation. People who bitch and whine and moan are energy vampires. Avoid them like the plague. They've decided, instead of trying to fix, they prefer to bitch. In fact, I would go so far as to say, drop the bitch, embrace the fix. The other side of that coin is blaming. People who are constantly complaining tend to constantly blame. And remember, When you're pointing one finger at somebody, you have another three pointing back at yourself. So if you find yourself in the blame game, because it is a game, stop it. And if you find yourself around people who play the blame game, avoid them. Either tell them to pull their heads in, or tell them to do something about it, or avoid them. But do not become part of the problem by feeding the troll. Finally, posturing. People who are always beating their own chest, always telling you about their accomplishments, always bragging about things. Such people are going to drag you down because they don't have the self-esteem necessary to hold a proper framed conversation. My advice to you is to avoid people who posture. It's like the other side of the coin of "I was going to." It's another form of reflected self-glorification, which actually has no basis in reality. So look at that. I was going to. That's just the way of the world. I've got nothing to prove. I'm always seeking validation. I'm always bitching. I'm always blaming. I'm always posturing. These are some of the behaviors that I suggest you discard if you have them, and avoid if you see them in others. And finally, I'd like to say to you, whatever it is you dare to dream or do, begin it now.